So we've had a little bit to play around with Aldrachi Reaver in patch 11.1, and I gave you some talent builds that you could play with in a guide video that I published on my channel here last week. Well, now as people have had the chance to experiment and try things in actual gameplay rather than just Sims, we've come to some discoveries about not just what performs good in the Sims, but what feels good to play. First and foremost, I should just say that all of the Aldrachi Reaver builds suggested on Wowhead have now been swapped over to using Exergy rather than Inertia. It's just a lot easier to use and a lot more effective for the damage profile that Aldrachi Reaver has. So if you've been playing with Inertia, you can keep playing with Inertia, or you can swap over to Exergy. The difference is minimal, and it might free up a few brain cells for you to use on actual other things in your rotation. But if you go look on Wowhead, every Aldrachi Reaver build now is playing with Exergy. So that's pretty cool, right? But there's been even more development when it comes to Mythic Plus builds, and I have to say, this is probably the best Havoc has felt in a long time, and the most fun that I've had playing the spec since BFA. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. I'll show you the build that I've been using. It's not this one on the screen, it's a different one. I'll tell you how to play it. It's honestly so easy. And I'll show you some footage of me blasting some keys with it in the process. Speaking of developments, listen, I get that putting in time to learn something can be boring. No one loves reading pages upon pages of documents only to realize at the end that you didn't absorb any of it and you have to start back at the beginning. We all know the best way to learn is to do. So what if you gamified the process and turned it into an MMO? Honing the skill of back-end development has never been easier, and hey, this is a great way to start down the path of a stable career. Programmers have an amazing earning potential. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary of back-end developers in the US in 2023 was over $100,000. You'll learn back-end web development from start to finish in the Python and Go programming languages. Now, when I said this was an MMO, I meant it. You'll learn experience, levels, achievements, and complete quests to compete on global leaderboards. There's even bi-monthly boss fights where the community rallies together and gains bonus experience for each lesson completed during the event. It's like a real video game. All of the content is free to read and watch in guest mode. However, you can choose to unlock all of the interactive features like hands-on coding, AI assistance, progress tracking, and game elements. Boot.dev never wants their students to feel like they aren't getting their money's worth. So they're offering a 30-day, no questions asked refund policy, and a free demo of every course and its interactive features. So go to boot.dev, the link will be down in the description of this video, and use my code to get 25% off your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. Again, just make sure you use my code and you will get 25% off your entire order. Okay, so here is the talent build. I will have an import code for this down in the description of this video, so you can go down, copy it, and then come into the game, and then click on import, and you'll paste the code into this box. You can name it, and then press import. And now your character will have this talent build. So just to go over some of the choices that are being made here, you can see we're not taking Essence Break, we're not taking Exergy or Inertia, we're not taking Unbound Chaos, we're not taking Tactical Retreat. So this is very much a no mover / low mover. We do have initiative, so you could be vengeful retreating if you want, but it's not a big deal. You're still getting this crit when you engage in combat with enemies. We are taking Cycle of Hatred, so this allows you to have I-beams every 20 seconds rather than 40 seconds, and this is what really makes this build work, because we're getting so many I-beams, and we're using the Aldrachi Reaver toolkit to buff those I-beams and do very, very big AoE damage. So as I said, that AoE damage is coming from I-beam, which is also being buffed by 2 points into Blind Fury, and Looks Can Kill. Looks Can Kill is still pretty valuable for us right now because you can see my crit is only 30%, but as we get more gear or we go into the next season of the War Within, that's when Looks Can Kill will get a little less value because it's making I-beam guaranteed to crit. But as we get more crit, that's kind of already happening. So this talent loses value the more crit we have naturally. But for right now in this season, I would continue using it because it is very powerful right now. We're also taking all of the Throw Glaive talents because we're using Screaming Brutality. So we're taking Accelerated Blade, Furious Throws, Serrated Glaive, Soul Scar, and of course, Screaming Brutality. We're also taking all of the Immolation Aura and Rage Fire talents. So we have everything on the right side and we have a Fire Inside on the left. Now, the reason this build specifically is going for no mover is because we don't have enough points to kind of take everything that we would want in a build. We don't have enough points to take all of the movement for damage stuff, all of the rage fire stuff, all of the throw glaive stuff, and essence break. We just don't have enough points. So what this is doing is it's sacrificing the movement for damage stuff to make sure we get all of the Immolation Aura stuff, all of the Throwglaive stuff, and a Cycle of Hatred, and a Fire Inside. So how this works is you're using Aldrachi Reaver to do your Reaver's Glaive combo. That gives you Thrill of the Fight. You then use that Thrill of the Fight buff to buff your big AoE damage abilities, mainly your I-beams, your Immolation Auras, your Death Sweeps, and of course all of the Throwglaive stuff that's happening as you press Blade Dance. I'll show you an opener real quick because I feel like I'm yapping here. So you'll use Sigil of Flame pre-pull, then you'll use the Hunt. As you're traveling to the enemy, that's when you want to pop your damage potion and any unused trinkets that you might have. Once you reach the enemy, throw Reaver's Glaive. This is going to start your Reaver's Glaive combo. Now we're going to complete our Reaver's Glaive combo here because we want to get Thrill of the Fight up for I-Beam. So Chaos Strike to apply 1 stack of Reaver's Mark, and then Blade Dance to end your Reaver's Glaive combo, which will also give you Thrill of the Fight. Now you want to spam all of your Immolation Aura stacks until you can't anymore. Just spam them all and start as many Rage Fires as you possibly can. Then you're going to I-Beam. This I-Beam is going to do a lot of damage because it's buffed by Thrill of the Fight. After I-Beam, you want to press Annihilation. This is going to spend Inner Demon, then Death Sweep, Metamorphosis, and Death Sweep. Casting these 2 Death Sweeps back to back is going to do a lot of damage into your Reaver's Mark target because Death Sweep will also be throwing Throwglaive. The Throwglaives are physical damage and they feed into the Reaver's Mark target through Wounded Quarry. After that second Death Sweep, go ahead and press Annihilation again to spend Inner Demon, then I-Beam, then Sigil of Spite. And then from there, the regular rotation is pretty straightforward. You're just generating Lesser Soul Fragments with your Sigils and Chaos Strike. Then you're scooping it up with either Fellblade or just walking over them. Then you're going to press Reaver's Glaive, and you're always going to go Chaos Strike into Blade Dance because it's AoE. Now we're going to use the Thrill of the Fight buff to buff our I-Beam. And you just spam your Immolation Auras whenever you get the chance. And you can use the Hunt whenever. You just want to make sure you don't already have a Reaver's Glaive charge ready, because if you use the Hunt while you have one already, it's not going to give you a second charge. It's just going to do the Hunt damage and not do anything else. So always make sure that you spend your Reaver's Glaive and do your combo before you go ahead and press the Hunt. So the main way that this is working is you're putting Reaver's Mark on a target. So we're going to put it on this target here. It has a stack now. Now every time we press Blade Dance, because of Screaming Brutality, we're going to be shooting out extra Throwglaives. And those Throwglaives do physical damage. So all of those glaives are feeding 20% of their damage back into this main target as chaos damage. So whenever you're doing your rotation and you get meta back, just want to make sure that you have a Reaver's Mark on the target. Put I-Beam and Death Sweep on cooldown. You might have to wait a second. There we go. And then meta, and that's going to reset Blade Dance. And you can see we got 2 Blade Dances back to back there, and that was a lot of Throwglaives feeding into that Reaver's Mark. As you're getting Reaver's Glaives randomly throughout your rotation, you just want to make sure that you get the Thrill of the Fight buff and use it on things that are going to do the most damage. So I-Beam, Sigil of Spite could be good, a good Death Sweep, anything that's going to do massive damage. You never want to just throw a Reaver's Glaive, do your combo, and put Reaver's Mark on the target, and then stand there chaos striking it. You always want to make sure that you're doing something beneficial with the Thrill of the Fight buff. Now, like I said, with this build, you do have initiative, so you have the choice to Vengeful Retreat every now and then. And that'll just give you a little bit of extra crit because you're getting the initiative buff. But again, it's not something that is 100% required. It's pretty minimal. So as you can see, this rotation and this build is pretty straightforward and simple. The one way that you can min-max it is throwing in Vengeful Retreats to get those initiative buffs. And the other thing is just making sure that you're always putting your Reaver's Mark on the highest health target when you're fighting a big AoE pack, because things will be dying as you're fighting the pack. You'll have a mark on one target and it'll die, and then from there you have to make sure that you put your next one on the highest health target, because you don't want to put it on a super low health target that is going to die in a few seconds because your funnel isn't going to have a chance to do anything. So when you're fighting a big pack of mobs, always look for the lieutenant, the bigger mob in the pack. Make sure you're putting Reaver's Mark on that mob and funneling into that one. Now, I will also have a cheat sheet for this build in my Discord. Link will be down in the description. You can join. There's a lot of great resources there. There's a lot of cool people you can ask questions to if you're confused on anything in this build or any other build or really anything World of Warcraft. We have a lot of helpful people over there that can give you a hand. Also, if you want to get my Havoc Demon Hunter Weak Aura pack, that will also be down in the description. Hey, there's a lot of stuff down in the description, a lot of resources there too, so go check it out. And yeah, you can get this Havoc Weak Aura pack. I truly believe it is the best one out there. was made for Havocs by Havoc mains. And finally, if you want to see me use this build in action, you can always pop by my stream. I stream multiple days a week. Link to that will be in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.